Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of the Smiley Face murders, or the Smiley Face serial killers, or several other names such as that they are known by. Now, I would like to read you a piece of Wikipedia article so that we know what this is all about. And it starts as follows. The Smiley Face murder theory is a theory advanced by retired New York City detectives Kevin Gannon and Anthony Duarte, as well as Dr. Lee Gilbertson, a criminal justice professor and gang expert at St. Cloud State University. It alleges that a number of young men found dead in bodies of water across several Midwestern American states from the 1990s to the 2010s did not accidentally drown, as concluded by law enforcement agencies, but were victims of a serial killer or killers. As recently as 2017, Gannon and Duarte were examining evidence going back to the late 1990s that they believe connects the deaths of 45 college-age males whose dead bodies were found in water in 11 states, often after leaving parties or bars where they had been drinking. The men, according to former detectives, often fit a profile of being popular, athletic, and successful students, and most were white. Gannon and Duarte have theorized that the young men were all murdered either by an individual or an organized group of killers. The term smiley face became connected to the alleged murders when it was made public that Gannon and Duarte had discovered graffiti depicting a smiley face near locations where they think the killer had dumped the bodies in at least a dozen of the cases. So whether this is actually an organized group of killers or a single person going out after these people, or if they are accidental drownings that just happen to happen a lot to people who fit a certain profile, we don't know. And that is why we're doing a reading on that today. We're just going to see if anything is connected to a smiley face gang, or if this was indeed accidental, or if there's like a group of them. I don't know exactly how the tarot is going to tell us any of these things, so we're just going to have to take a look and see what we get. So basically this is a reading to figure out what the tarot can tell us about this theory and whether anything holds water. We're going to start off with the Modern Witch Tarot, which is this one. And for any further questions, we're moving on to the Urban Tarot deck, which is this one with the modern images. As per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the cards. As soon as we have about a screen full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Alright, let's take a look what we've got here. We're starting off in the top left with the Four of Swords, then the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles, which is in reverse. So, let's see. Normally Four of Swords is like taking a break, but as you can see, the person over there is possibly not resting very much. Could be that they're feeling pretty anxious. They do appear to be worrying, it seems as though. This kind of feels like being forced to take a break or a step back, even though you want to be out there doing things, because we can kind of see in the background there that window with the clouds in the sky. Like there's things out there that you might want to get involved in, but you can't because you need to stay inside, possibly because you're ill. I don't believe that they're having a good time over there, so they're already being kept in place, it seems as though. And next we see the Five of Cups, which is crying over spilled milk, or at least not focusing on the things that you still have. So I think that this person, whoever these people are, whoever this person is potentially stuck in a loss situation, and also a loss of investment, it seems as though, because we have here the Seven of Pentacles, which is also in reverse, rather is in reverse, signifying some type of loss or things that you invested in, just not coming up with any sort of return on investment. So this kind of looks like somebody or somebody's whom are frustrated and they are forced to do nothing. And that leads to a lot of internal struggle that we see over here. With the Five of Wands in reverse, we have the Sun that's also in reverse. Like loss of happiness, loss of joy, loss of light. And then we have the Knight of Swords on the end there. So an internal struggle is taking place, followed or at least combined with this darkness that they appear to be experiencing, or the loss of some type of joy in their life. And then we have here the Knight of Swords, which is a knight who tends to be very quick to take action, but mostly in thoughts and words. And it could be that this is a mind that's racing as a result of these first 5 cards. So this kind of looks like possibly I'm seeing family members of the people who were involved in this case or these cases, because there were quite a few people actually on the list of victims, who just feel like there's nowhere for them to turn. There's no answers. There's no going forward or backward with the Four of Swords right there. You can't go anywhere. You can't get over a loss either. There's a lot of strife and there's just a loss of joy and light, and you kind of want to do something. And so I guess the next best thing they can do is think a lot, talk a lot, and possibly theorize. It kind of seems to me like this bunch of cards that we have right here is headed in the direction of, I need answers. And I don't really care where they're coming from, but I need answers. Somebody needs to go figure this out, because it can't just be that they just drowned, that sort of thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of family members felt like there was more going on, and they may have implored law enforcement to dig a little deeper in this case. Like, how could he possibly end up there? He wouldn't do that, that type of thing. Like all these questions that they want answers to, and that is why the Knight of Swords is out there riding with the wind, trying to get some answers, at least ask the questions. On the next row we have the World, which is also like turning to the world. Possibly this is the sky that we're seeing over here as well, like trying to explore and figure out what's happening. And then they are given a hand here with the Six of Pentacles. And then there's an Ace of Swords, which is in reverse. So I see this as them stepping out into the world with those thoughts, theories, or at least pleading for some type of information. Perhaps they found each other as well. Perhaps people went looking for similar cases to try and find answers, and they found each other in the world. And then we have here the Six of Pentacles, like I said, some type of charity. Maybe they're finding people who are willing to listen, people who are willing to come up with stuff for them, people who are willing to help them out. Possibly also people just in the law enforcement area as well, looking to step in and possibly give them some hope or try to get something started, because we have the Ace of Swords here, which is in reverse. So this could be an idea that they had in order to supply the answers to all these questions, and possibly there wasn't the best of ideas. It kind of seems like something really well intentioned. You can see that the hand has this radiant glow around it, like, oh, we're going to shine some light on this case and just follow me, because usually the one who raises his sword is the one who's leading the charge. So possibly whoever this person was that was being charitable to them, or these persons, this could mean the lieutenants or the detectives, I believe, of the department that I was talking about earlier, saying, okay, we're going to lead this charge. We feel like this and that might be connected, and we're going to figure it out for you guys. But it may not have been the best of ideas. I don't think, like I said, they probably weren't ill-intentioned. It was probably very well-intentioned, but it was just not the right direction, possibly. Next we see here the Seven of Wands, somebody coming for your position. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, so we are definitely feeling some type of loss, possibly finances, possibly resources. And then the Three of Wands, and that is us planning another route, or another travel, perhaps looking for other avenues. So I'm thinking that this symbolizes the pushback that they're getting from other organizations, because I read a little bit further on the Wikipedia page, and it does say that a lot of other organizations, among which the FBI, have said that there really isn't that much evidence to support this theory. Generally, those organizations feel like these were not connected, at least not all connected. I don't know if none of them are connected. Possibly some are. See, that's the thing with this number of people. There may be some who are connected, but they don't feel like the graffiti has anything to do with it, with them, or showing that it may be a certain organization or something along those lines. But that's what other agencies are saying. So they're getting a lot of pushback here. I think that's what the Seven of Wands is showing, and they're not getting very far with their theory either, because it is Five of Pentacles, which shows that they are not very successful, possibly just feeling like their energy is draining due to all this struggle that they're going through. Like, they're not finding a lot of people that are willing to fight with them, just against so far. But that doesn't mean that they're done, because we have here Three of Wands, which is setting out another course, possibly more travel plans. I think that this is just them trying to find other avenues that they could take in order to prove their theory true after all, against all odds, and that type of thing. So next, I think we'll go to the Urban Tarot deck and see if they're ever going to be proven correct, or what the outcome of their theory is going to be. Let's see if we can find for that. Okay, we have this one. This is the Four of Swords again. So once again, we are still looking to take a break. This card is even called Truce, so we may be looking at them eventually having to give it up. Like, okay, there really isn't that much we can find, that type of thing. I'm thinking, particularly because it's a sword card, like they have to think about things, they have to take a step in the same place for a while, take a break, and to truce may mean that they're going to give it up, at least for some time, possibly to get other people off their back. Let's see if we can get anything else. Okay, we've got the Mage in reverse. This is the Magician. So there isn't a lot that they can do after this. Like, normally a mage would be trying all the different things that are available to them. Mages normally can get a lot done, or the wizards, or I keep calling the wizards. The magician usually has a lot of things that they can do. They're usually very capable, but I think in this case they're just not finding a lot that they can do. So this kind of continues the truce card here. So we're finding a lot of dead ends, I believe. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, so there's even more loss. And I think this is more of a plain loss, like they're probably investing time, effort, energy into this case, and they're not seeing any returns. As a matter of fact, the pentacles are pointing downwards, and they're also not very... I think it's also a very big energy drain here, because the card itself has somebody chilling in a pool. Like, they're normally very relaxed, but because it's in reverse, I feel like there is a lot of energy lost here. Just not, at least not just financial resources, also just a lot of sleep, a lot of energy, a lot of time that is going into this that they may feel they could have spent differently. Oh, that one jumped out. All right, this is interesting. I think this is the card that we had at the very beginning that I showed you to demonstrate what the deck looked like. And when I saw this card, actually, I wasn't thinking just of the Chariot, because this is the Chariot, and it's supposed to mean that there's a lot of action. I'm thinking, when I saw this card, the first thing that popped into my mind was rambunctious youth, basically, because you see somebody who is basically surfing on the roof of a car here, which is behavior that usually only very young people show, and I feel this has a sense of recklessness. So I'm thinking that combined with these cards here, they may eventually have to conclude that there was just a lot of recklessness involved in these cases, by which I mean a lot of them were inebriated college students. And I don't know if you've ever been to a college party or ever seen or heard any stories about college parties. They don't tend to go lightly. So I'm thinking that they may have to conclude that this definitely played a big role in these cases. Like they're just seeing more and more evidence that maybe it really wasn't as connected, these cases, as they initially thought they may have been, and that there's just a lot of stuff like this involved, just a recklessness factor of young people abusing alcohol and then going out wandering in the nights. We have here the Prince of Discs, which is basically the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So we are having an issue here. The Knight of Pentacles has an issue because Knight of Pentacles tend to be somebody who's very slow and steady, wins the race, spends a lot of time and careful effort into the things that they want to achieve. And I'm thinking eventually they're going to find that they're going to actually have lost a lot of this time and just not invested it properly. And speaking of investing, this card is called the Day Trader, as you can see over here. So it's like a Wall Street broker type person. And I'm thinking that they're going to think that, at least this symbolizes the investments that they made, that they're just not panning out. So they may come to the conclusion that this is a wild goose chase for a gang or a particular individual that may not exist. I think that's what we're looking at right here. That's just only the cards seem to be pointing that direction. But as we started off with the families, possibly, or maybe law enforcement themselves, wanting some type of explanation for this, because it is something that happens a lot, or at least has happened a lot since the 90s up to 2010. So there's quite a few people, 40 something, in what is that, 20 years or something, maybe 30. Well, at least more than one a year. Alright, what are the cards we have here? The Two of Wands, called Dominion. And now the Two of Wands is kind of like a card where you're planning potential trips. It's the stage before the Three of Wands, which you see in the end there. Like here, they're like, okay, we're going to try this, we're going to try that, we're going to go in this direction, we're going to go that direction, setting out a path. And the Two of Wands is a little bit more like trying to figure out if there is still a path to go on. And the statue in the background, it has a horse in it, and the two wands appear to be like putting a cross in front of the horse, like just like blocking it. So maybe it's like saying that there really aren't that many more paths that they can go on. They're still desperately looking for some way that they could potentially put an end to this case, but they're just not finding a lot of ways, things that they could do. And we're also losing our courage here. We have the Seven of Wands again. This time it's in reverse. This card is called Valor, and I think it's kind of just like losing hope, losing that valor that they had initially. The steam is letting go or letting off because the wands also are a fiery suit. So I think that the flame is flickering and may not be with them for very much longer. So not only are they not finding too many new avenues that they could go in, they're also kind of losing their steam. The financial situation is worsening. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. They may be making some very bad financial decisions or resource decisions, and there is a lot of wariness. Also, the Ten of Wands is normally like, okay, it's just the final straws here, or at least the final few steps, and then you're done, and then there's a release of letting go of a burden. But it's in reverse, so I really see that as there's just no letting go. There's no release. They spent so much time and effort into something that's really not giving them that reward at the end. And also we're looking at somebody who is in jail. I'm thinking that it's just kind of something that's trapped them for all this time. They feel trapped. Maybe they feel like they've made this promise to all these people, and a lot of people are looking at this theory and they're very interested in this and that want some type of answers, but they're not finding anything, and that's kind of trapping them in place, and they're probably feeling like they can't step away from that, not anytime soon in any case. So are they ever going to step away from this? Let's go back to the Modern Witch Tarot for a few final cards. Oh, that one fell the other way. Eight of Swords, yeah, we're definitely trapped mentally. Eight of Swords is something that they are keeping themselves in. This kind of follows up what I was just saying about the Ten of Wands, that they're just kind of feeling like they can't leave it be because so many people are looking to them for answers, and that is also a mental entrapment in this case, which is symbolized by the Eight of Swords, which is something that they could step out of. They could at any point in time say, you know what guys, we've looked at the evidence, we've been all over the place, investigated a whole bunch of stuff, and aside from finding a bunch of graffiti, which was similar in a lot of places. Here we have a Queen of Cups, hang on. They are not finding any connections, at least not the connections they were hoping to find, and we're going to have to leave it at that. Let's see which one. This one? Oh, that one. Okay. So we have the Queen of Cups here, which is somebody who's just really well intentioned. I feel like they are very emotionally stable. They have a bit of an Empress vibe to them. I always feel like they're just heartwarming, heartfelt, that type of thing, but they are probably looking to kind of let this die quietly, because the next card we see here is the Hermit, which is kind of like returning to a place of solace, just like retreating from the public light. So I think they may be trying to, or looking for ways to just kind of take a step back and let the whole thing go cold, and because they really feel very much connected to this, but they also kind of can't really let go of the case, but they also can't continue. So they're kind of like stuck in between a rock and a hard place, like they can't find the way out. There's no solution that they're finding. There's no ending in sight. They feel very much involved in this case, and so they don't really want to say it's definitely not what we said it was, but they have no answers. So they kind of just want to slip out of this situation, possibly go back to a drawing table and look at things again quietly, without the public studying everything that they do, every move that they make, and possibly quietly also closing the case, because there's nothing for them to continue on. If that is the case, it kind of looks as though that might be it, because all the cards we're seeing so far are all about they're running out of steam, they got nothing to do, at least they don't have anything to go on, and it's costing them a lot to keep this going. There's a lot invested here that's just not panning out, and I'm thinking that they're starting to realize that, or they may realize that after spending some time in that Hermit energy. I think that's all we're going to see for this case, actually. We don't appear to be getting anything else, so I'm going to have to call it here. I hope you found that interesting. In any case, make sure to leave a comment and a like. That really helps the channel along. If you would like to subscribe, that's also very much appreciated. I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.